Hey guys, it's Haylie and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Tonight we're trying a little different format. We're audio recording and I'm going to have Leilani Rowe ask me the questions that you asked me. Couple little pointers, we're going to get better and better in Wellness Wednesdays, but try to keep your questions as short and succinct as possible because the shorter the questions, the more that I can answer each day. Sometimes we're going to Facebook Live, sometimes I'll do a video recording, and tonight we're trying it out with this audio recording. So I hope you enjoy. Here goes.
Okay, this question comes from Christine. I'm 50-something with 50 pounds to lose. I'm concerned the rapid weight loss will leave loose skin behind my arms, tummy, thighs, chin, etc. Is there anything we should do to prevent and fix that?
That's a great question. I talked to my team the other day and I was explaining some of the mechanisms between the different diets. And Metabolism Revolution actually works a lot on one of the body's natural steroids called mineral corticoids. Mineral corticoids help regulate body structure a lot. So I find Metabolism Revolution helps a lot with collagen, elastin, tighten up skin. Even individuals that have lost a lot of weight on the fast metabolism diet, with my clients, I'll put them on MR, Metabolism Revolution, in order to kind of tighten things up. You want to definitely look at the burns too, especially the eye burn. I find that really good to tighten up loose skin. Another thing to think of is when you're working out, when you're doing rapid weight loss, or even just in general, I always say wear compression stockings or compression workout gear, because if you think about it, the closer the skin is to the muscle as we're developing it, and as the tighter just physiologically we can keep kind of the collagen and everything kind of bundled in together, the less gravity's working against us. So it's a technique that I use with a lot of my clients, especially back of the arms, in the kneecaps too. So sometimes we'll wear compression stockings that go all the way up the legs when we've lost a lot of weight and we're trying to really tighten things up. I hope that helps, and make sure that you're posting any other questions that you have for next week.
Okay, the next question comes from Jackie. My husband is suffering from insomnia. He goes to sleep fairly easily, but wakes up in the night and can't go back to sleep. He's experienced this for over 10 years, but this has been getting increasingly worse. He's feeling hopeless to find a solution. I'm wondering if a diet change could help. He's not overweight. In fact, he has less than 10% body fat. He works out 3 days a week, pretty intensely. He's done a sleep study, and he doesn't have sleep apnea. He takes melatonin and other sleep supplements. He's been prescribed Lunesta, and that works for him occasionally, but more often than not, it doesn't work. Do you think something like Metabolism Revolution or Food RX diet would help him? He feels like he has tried everything.
Jackie, that's a great question. And I get that actually quite a lot. I think I'm just thinking of one of my clients in particular who's a studio exec, and he had come in, he was taking had tried tons of different natural and pharmaceutical sleep remedies. And there's a couple different things that we can do. Yes, diet always can make an impact. Micronutrients help regulate the autonomic nervous system, that sympathetic, parasympathetic tones, especially the parasympathetic tones when we go into rest and restoration. It sounds like he's doing an awesome job getting exercise in and trying other, kind of sleep and stress reduction techniques, and it's great that he got checked for sleep apnea. A couple things that you might consider. There are some additional natural therapies like wet sock treatment, far infrared saunas. Those can actually be really good to help re-regulate the autonomic nervous system. But I'll tell you, with everything that you're telling me, Jackie, that he's tried in the past, it really makes me think about what we call downregulation, or when the autonomic nervous system kind of flips a little bit. And what happens is sometimes we get cortisol surges when we're supposed to be resting. So I'm going to give you a couple different medical philosophies on this. In Chinese medicine, there's what's called an organ clock. And if an individual wakes up at the same time every night, like for me, for example, if I drink alcohol, it's like clockwork. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And my mom, being a physician, but also having her master's in oriental medicine, always told me that was the liver time. And when the body is doing rest and restoration within the liver. And because I was processing alcohol, I'm also very sensitive to any kind of pharmaceutical. So because I was processing chemicals, or I don't process them very well, that my body wakes me up or puts me into more sympathetic overtones in order to process that. So one thing that would be interesting to me would be to know if there's a particular time that he wakes up every night. And then maybe we could use targeted or strategic foods around that. We're going to go a little bit more on the Western world now. We went Eastern medicine here for a minute. On the Western world, I'd like to look at cortisol levels. So what we do is there's a saliva one. You can even order them online now. There's some direct-to-consumer testing now, which is cool. They do a saliva cortisol test, and we see if typically the cortisol should naturally be higher in the morning and lower at night. If he's flipped, that tells us a ton of great information, which means that his body's having a wake signal at night when it should be having a rest and restoration signal. To your point, there's a lot of natural therapies that can help with this. The magnesium, there's a couple different versions, even Mag Calm's a great one that I like, can help soothe the autonomic nervous system, but I think it would be important to know if that's the case. And so that would be one thing that I would recommend. The other is there's a company called Neuroscience. I really like their testing. Early in my practice, I used to like some of their products. I'm not as much excited about them. And some of that is just the way things have kind of evolved to try to be politically correct. But the testing, on the other hand, is really fascinating. And it does urine testing, and it tests, serotonin, dopamine, L-DOPA excretions. Doesn't tell you, what you have in the bloodstream, but it tells you what you're secreting in the urine. When I have individuals that have really, truly disruptive sleep, we look a lot at what's called PEAE. It's one metabolite that seems to tell a lot about it. And then we can use kind of strategic amino acids to balance that. So from a diagnostic perspective, I would partner with my doctor or look for a direct-to-consumer test to check those. From a food perspective, things that you might want to look at is, yes, there's the mood and cognition with FoodRx, but there's also the blood sugar. And even though he doesn't have, carries a very low body weight, sometimes dysregulation in blood sugar will affect how the body regulates autonomic nervous system during sleep. So have him look at both of those and see if that might be of interest. Keep me posted. Let me know if any of this is helpful or if you want to evolve this into even further discussion about him. And Jackie, please tell your husband, thank you for letting us talk so candidly about his health.
All right. The next question comes from Katerina. I am taking 19 different supplements. Mostly it's vitamins, fish oils, glucose regulators, healthy fats. It's all been prescribed to me by my doctor due to some health issues. My supplements are all natural and good brands. Will these supplements affect my weight loss? I need to lose only about 5 to 8 pounds.
So really clean supplements. Tell me the name one more time.
Katerina.
Katerina, hi, and thank you for asking the question. Really clean, healthy supplements should not at all slow your weight loss. The goal is that they level the playing field, allowing the metabolic pathways to have all those micronutrients and targeted micronutrients in order to perform their functions even better. I want you to really focus, because you have a lot of supplements on board, like myself, I do the same. I want you to really focus on changing your food choices, whether you're doing metabolism revolution or fast metabolism diet or one of the burns, but making sure that you don't get in a rut from a nutritional perspective with your food protocol. I always do what I call a drug holiday. Even though I don't take pharmaceuticals, I call that with my supplements, where I pick one day a week to let my body not have those. I'm going to give you, I don't ever miss my multi, and I'll tell you why, because as I've shared with you guys, I'm homozygous for MTFHR, which is methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase, which means I don't detox really efficiently, so I never miss that one. But I take my DIM 6 days a week. I take my CLA kind of cyclically. I take my enzymes at every meal, but I skip it 1 day a week. So I guess probably with exception to my multi, I try to kind of give my body a break so that it seeks out or looks for my supplements. So that's just a little trick that I do. But make sure that you're varying your food. make sure that, check with your practitioner and see if they think that might be an interesting idea. And, I'm excited that they're a high quality, because there's so many things out there that are just, should not be taken, shouldn't be flushed in the toilet, in my opinion. And then there's some really great ones. And so I'm glad to hear that you're on those.
Okay, last question. This one's from Linda. I have had shingles twice now, September 2017, and a very mild case again now because I started my antiviral. I'm kind of young for shingles, so my doctor feels it's stress related. Any special tips on reducing stress for high stress jobs? It's from Linda.
Hi, Linda. You'll get a kick out of this. I have been prone to shingles in my life, and my husband always says, all the shingle ladies, he thinks it's really cute. And he sings actually pretty off tune, but he sings it nonetheless. So there's a couple things to think of when we have shingles in general, or reoccurrent shingles, is, to your point, definitely looking at stress, but more adaptogenic hormones, why your body's not adapting to the stress. There's individuals that are under tremendous stress and never manifest shingles. And so we want to look at, when your body's under stress, if it's work-related or whatever, is how you can restore or tonify or strengthen your adaptogenic hormones. And so let me give you a couple ideas. Let me tell you a couple things. One, go to the FoodRx lab tests, both in the autoimmune category and the hormone category, and make sure that you, when you write your Dear Dr. Sanders letter and request for care next time you go see your doctor, which those handouts are in your member section, make sure that you're asking for the labs in both of those sections, because hormones really play a significant role, stress hormones as well, in how your body handles viral manifestation, and then also how your immune system reacts appropriately or inappropriately to, viruses that are dormant that maybe are trying to rear their head, like the one that causes shingles and chickenpox, how your immune system is responding. So it's a great way to kind of look at your chemistry, make sure you're nice and toasty in between those balanced ranges. But let's get back to food a little bit. Let me go actually supplements first, and then we'll go food. Making sure that you're on a really strong, nice, healthy folic acid and B complex blend is important. Also, making sure that you're getting enough healthy fats. So a lot of times stress can be the FoodRx stress program. I do phase 1 intensives a lot, and I kind of fluctuate between phase 1 intensives and the H-burn. So I know I'm what I call program hopping and food sculpting and things of that nature. As far as work-related stress reduction techniques, I am huge about, I use lavender oil on my hands after I wash my hands, and I try to really make sure that I wash my hands, obviously in between clients, but for cleanliness reasons, but also just to kind of clear everything that we've kind of talked about and worked through. And I suggest that anytime you have a phone meeting or you have, an in-person meeting at work, just take 2 seconds, wash your hands. And I have a really nice hand lotion, one that's gardenia and one that is lavender. They're all natural. Shatakai or Shakai is my favorite brand. Maybe we can post it under there, but I love them. I'm allergic to so many things, and my body does really well with that brand. But that really helps a lot. All 5 of our senses help us be cognizant or aware or alert to stress. Sound, our vision, our taste, our touch, and our smell. And so anything that you can do to soothe one of your 5 senses can really make a huge impact. And we see this with doing saliva or salivary cortisol tests on individuals, where we have them breathe a smell that they enjoy. It could be your chocolate stevia, anything that you're going to enjoy the smell of that's going to lower some of those stress hormones. The other thing that I do privately is when I'm at work, and my team will probably tell you not so privately, is I do a lot of the alternate nostril breathing. I had a really brilliant Ayurvedic doctor. He's actually was at the Brain Injury Recovery Center when I had gotten in my car accident. And he was the first one that actually introduced me. The neurologist there introduced me to him, and he actually introduced me to alternate nostril breathing. And at the time, when I was at the Brain Injury Recovery Center, I stuttered really significantly. I had speech therapy and vision therapy, and we talked a lot about, stress after a car accident, stress after, physiological trauma. And I will tell you that, and I did EMDR also, was really, really effective. And it's something that you can do at work. They say 10 to 15 breaths, can lower your cortisol level. It's amazing. So try those two things. Make sure that you check in with us next Wellness Wednesday. I know I get a little long-winded in my answers. The more short and succinct you guys can make your questions, one question per person, the more we can get to next Wednesday. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I will see all y'alls. We were in Atlanta, and they were telling me I was saying it wrong. Well, you guys are going to have to correct me. But we will see you all starting on the challenge on Monday, and look for Wellness Wednesday post next week where you can post your questions and get my opinion on how we can keep you well. Have a great night, guys.